What's up, cool people? Welcome to a game review. Today I'm reviewing Yoku's Island Express, and let me just say right off the bat that this is as far as what I've seen, this is a rather family-friendly game. Like, I would approve of letting children play this. There might be some little things here and there that are like a bit on the scary side of things, you might say, but otherwise it should pretty much be fine for, I would say, any age group. Some adults might find this a bit too childish for their liking. I personally don't think it is. But anyway, so yeah, this is Yoku's Island Express. So you basically wind up on this island. You are taking the place of the postmaster, or basically you become the new postmaster on this island in the game. And as such, you know, part of your job is to deliver the mail to various people throughout the island. Some of that comes in the form of packages, which you find over here. But there's also like all sorts of mailboxes like the one you see here, just scattered all around the place. And so you just put mail in the mailboxes as you go around. The way this game is played is basically a pinball game, just with a lot of extra explorable area. You find a bunch of different kinds of characters, different animal characters, to be more specific. Like, you've got your kind of postmaster, like, answer machine parrot here. Lemon the postal parrot. That's... Anyway. Overdue packages are on the table. Yeah. Also a very colorful game with lots of different types of scenery and whatnot. So even that aspect of it is kind of more so geared towards kids. But again, I wouldn't say that it's like completely out of the question for adults to play it either. Maybe I should try and find a more pinball-like segment of the game to show some more of what that actually looks like. But yeah, so you use, at least, you know, on Xbox, you use the triggers to operate the flippers and whatnot. Some of the flippers are not immediately accessible in the game. You have to, like, you have to get money, which, for the sake of this game, is actually fruit. And, you know, save that up so you can unlock some of the flippers. Okay, but I'm really trying to find out, what is this? Oh, hello. Depending when someone dumped chunk down the falls. Sun Bunny made off with it before I had a chance to check it out. Okay. Anyway. So, yeah, the basic premise of the story is or at least the actual, like, main part of the story, is that, you know, as postmaster, whose job is kind of to, you know, go all around the island and deliver things to people anyway, some of what you end up delivering winds up being like a summons to help save the main protector of the island, essentially. So you send these notices to, like, 3 particular people, kind of like... I guess they're kind of like chiefs or whatever, you might say. And in delivering these messages to those chiefs, they then gather to help, you know, kind of save the main protector who has been hurt by a certain being. And ultimately, you then have to fight that being that hurt the island's protector. And, you know, in doing so, you save the island. All by, you know, all by means of pinball, basically. So, yeah. That's kind of the basic premise of the game and how it works. There are certain aspects of the game that are not immediately available, like I said. Some of the flippers aren't available right off the bat. The beeline, which was the kind of like barrel transport system that you saw me use just now, you have to unlock that as well. But beyond the main story, there are also a bunch of different, like, side quests that you can do. Like, if I pull up the map here, there's a couple of different spots to deliver packages and whatnot. Oh yeah, what is that all about with the fruit thing up there? That might be a side quest. But anyway, yeah, you basically, you're just in, you know, a bright, mostly colorful island world setting, and come across all these different animal characters that have their little problems that they want you to help with. But yeah, none of the dialogue is anything bad or, you know, that would be inappropriate for any age group. I mean, occasionally there's some larger words that get used, so, like, little kids might have a hard time understanding it, but also, like, I'm not sure, like, the littlest of kids would stick to a game like this for very long because of some of the pinball parts getting to be, oh, geez, that... Okay, I need a little bit more fruit to get that. Anyway, so yeah, really, aside from maybe some big-ish words used here and there, the only thing about this that I would say is not, like, necessarily small child friendly is that there are some things that you see in the game that might be a little bit scary for them. But even those aren't necessarily, like, just everywhere. So, yeah, on the whole, I'd say it's a pretty solid choice. Pretty solid game choice for kids. Not sure how much it costs, but there's a fair bit of game to play here, so unless it's way more expensive than I'm thinking it is, it's probably worth it. I mean, if you're interested in it, I should say. And or want it for your kids. But yeah, there's also collectibles throughout the game to keep you busy. Aside from, you know, the main story and the side quests and that kind of stuff that already kind of keep you a little bit busy. Doesn't take super long to get through the story, but it's also not like, oh yeah, you're easily going to be done with this in like 2 hours or something. So anyway, now that I have 300 fruit, I could buy this Wickerling tracker. Yeah, okay, there we go. Now see all the Marrow Hill Wickerlings on the map. Okay. Cool. So then I zoom out to the map, and so not necessarily everything is going to be, you know, highlighted for you no matter what your position on the island or where you're looking at, but some of the kind of more significant side quests, like delivering the overdue packages, or like, you know, your location on the island, that kind of stuff, it shows you wherever you're looking. But other stuff like the Wickerling locations, it's not necessarily gonna highlight all those. Although if you scroll over them, it will show you, like you see kind of towards the middle of the screen right there. So there are definitely ways that the game can kind of help the player continue to progress if you, you know, play it enough and, you know, then get the fruit to sort of pay the fees or whatever you want to call it to unlock said help. Anyway. So, yeah, on the whole, pretty solid game for kids, I would say. Like, up to about, I'm gonna say roughly ages, I don't know, 5 or like at the early end of actually really being able to, you know, understand, you know, video games and how they really work, and, you know, solve some puzzles here and there and whatnot, and like play pinball halfway decent in general, whatever the lower age range of that is, up to like early teens, I'd rate this fairly well. You start getting much older than that, I'm imagining the interest in a game like this is probably going to dwindle a bit. But overall, if I were to try and give this game a rating out of 10, see, it's not like super complex, so some of the repetition of it can get a little bit boring and or frustrating. Especially in the sections that, like, don't work, or that in some of the sections where it's like you really have to do some kind of tedious pinballing stuff and be very precise with your, you know, flippering, I don't know if that's really a word, but with your flipper usage in order to, you know, be able to direct your character. But, yeah. But, like, aside from shortcomings like that, it's a fairly solid game. So, I'd give it maybe somewhere in the realm of, like, a 6.5. Maybe a bit lower, depending on age range. But, anyway. I mean, ultimately, let's be honest, it's sort of subjective how good people think certain games are going to be. So, since I can't account for everybody's tastes in games, yeah, I'm gonna land it on a 6.5. It's a pretty bright, colorful game, simple and easy to understand, but also like has some parts that'll take a bit of time. Plenty of, you know, side quest things to keep you occupied, as well as little collectibles and whatnot. So yeah, 6.5 out of 10 on the whole. And again, appropriate for darn near any age, just depending on what kind of stuff they're into. So anyway, yeah, guess that wraps up my thoughts on Yoku's Island Express. So that's going to do it for today's game review. Make sure to like the video if you enjoyed it. Share it with others if you want them to see. If you're on YouTube, subscribe to the channel and click the bell to get updates when I post new videos. If you happen to see this on Rumble, just give me a follow there. Make sure you look down in the description, too, to get information on, you know, finding and following other social media pages of mine. And below that, leave comments with any thoughts you have, other games you might want me to play through and or review, thoughts on previous games that maybe I've played through and didn't leave a review that you'd maybe like to see that specifically. But whatever thoughts you have, let me know down below. So anyway, that's going to do it for now. Hope you're all doing well. Hopefully I'll see you for the next video. But until then, stay cool, people.